Oh, hello.
Hello.
Well, that was fun. Always gets me jazzed,
I
that
love
song.
that. I really do like it.
And I'm going to rip it off, just like everybody else. I'm going to rip that off, make my own. And then if anybody uses mine, I'll copy strike them.
Yep, that's how it works.
Ah, well, in case you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, it's a multiple choice question. Are you a dog, a pig, or a sheep? Explain what that means.
All right. So we're going to do a little deep dive on the album by Pink Floyd, Animals. And it's funny because, Pink Floyd's my all time favorite band. And when I was younger, I never really understood this album. Wall was always my favorite, and then Dark Side of the Moon, close second. But the older I get, the more I love this album. And I've been listening it to a lot lately, and I just feel like it's very relevant for today. So, the album Animals, for anyone who's not familiar, uh, it was a concept album, kind of like The Wall, where it tells a complete story from beginning to end. And it was in created in 1977, and it's loosely based off of Orwell's Animal Farm, which came out in 45. But the big difference is Animal Farm was more about communism, and Animals is more about capitalism and corporate greed.
How awesome it is.
So the entire album has 5 songs, with the first song being Pigs on a Wing, Part 1, which is basically an opening short song that basically asks the question like, "Hey, if you didn't care what happened to me and I didn't care for you, you know, this is how it would end up." It's almost like a question. Um and then it goes on to dogs, pigs, sheep, and then Pigs on the Wing Part 2, which has a more hopeful closing um to the album. Um so I pose the question, which one are you? Because in the song, it's basically, uh, the dogs, the pigs, and the sheep are what Roger Waters viewed as the different people in society.
Classes.
Yes. So you have the dogs, who are basically, they're predatory, they're businessmen, um, they do all of the bidding for the pigs, they stab people in the back, they're greedy. Then you have the pigs that are the elite, the lawmakers, the higher tier politicians. And then you have the sheep, which, um, they're apathetic. They turn a blind eye to things. They're basically the common folk. And um,
Wake up, sheeple.
now, personally, I I would if I had to choose in the context of the song, I would be a sheep. Preferably, I would be neither. But we'll go into in the songs the roles that they all play, and why I think the sheep is ultimately what you want to be, even though there's a negative connotation to that word. We view sheep as, herd like, not having your own free thinking mind. Um, what do you think you would be, Anthony?
An albatross? I don't know. Um, I would like to be a pig, but
Mm,
yeah, if I'm only given the three, a sheep.
So before we get into the lyrics, so the cover art is great. Um, it's got that shot of it's like a plant or something. It's very industrial and dystopian looking, and they have the pig floating up above it. Um,
That is the Battersea Power Station.
yeah. So once again, a symbol of uh corporate type entity, and the fact that it's a power station. I mean, power. That's kind of symbolic for that. Now, Roger Waters has said that the pig floating is symbolism of hope. I'm not really. I didn't really understand that because to me, I view that as like the elite overseeing everything on the ground level. Um, so to get into it, so we have Pigs on the Wing Part 1. I'll read the lyrics because it's very short. It's a very short opening to the album.
I mean, I would play it, but
Yeah, we
it
don't
would
want to
get taken down
for sure.
immediately.
So if you didn't care what happened to me and I didn't care for you, we would zigzag our way through the boredom and pain, occasionally glancing up through the rain, wondering which of the buggers to blame and watching for pigs on the wing. Now, pigs on the wing, I don't know how you feel about this, but I couldn't find anything exactly how Roger Waters defines that line, but I view it as like a you know how we have right wing and left wing, and he doesn't specify because it's both sides. Both sides have pigs.
Any wing.
Any wing, it's two wings of the same bird.
Isn't that the John Lithgow quote
What?
from the Tales from the Crypt movie? There's a pig on the wing. I don't,
There was something. I forget what it was though. It was like a demon looking thing, wasn't
I
it?
don't remember.
Well, you know, pigs could be demons, I guess. Um, so basically, both wings pretty much the same. And later on, when we talk about the pigs, it's and it's called pigs and like the three different kinds. They're the three different ones are from both sides. You have the left side and the right side. So, um, I believe Roger Waters is more of I don't know what he considers himself politically. I think he's more liberal to center, but given the time period that this came out, I think he was more on the liberal side, but still able to call out the left for its bad deeds too. Um, Now we go into dogs, and this is I think it's like 17 minutes long or something. Dogs. You got to be crazy. You got to have a real need. You got to sleep on your toes. And when you're on the street, you got to be able to pick out the easy meat with your eyes closed. And then moving in silently, downwind and out of sight. You got to strike when the moment is right and without thinking. And after a while, you can work on points for style, like a club tie and a firm handshake, a certain look in the eye and an easy smile. You have to be trusted by the people that you lie to so that when they turn their backs on you, you'll get the chance to put the knife in. So the dogs are basically also people in power, not quite as high as the pigs, but who call some of the shots. So whether it's your corrupt police, your corrupt judges, um, these corporate businessmen, uh, you know, nowadays I would liken that to a I don't know. Would Bill Gates be a dog or a pig?
A
You
pig.
think a pig?
For sure.
Um, the dogs basically do the bidding for the pigs. And what this is basically describing is you basically have to be fake. You have to be fake. You have to put on a smile so that people trust you. And then you fuck them in the ass when they're not looking.
I didn't hear any fucking in the ass in this album. I might have listened to it more.
It continues on. You got to keep one eye looking over your shoulder. You know it's going to get harder and harder and harder as you get older. And in the end, you'll pack up and fly down south, which is kind of funny because that is what the older people like to retire. They go where it's nice and warm. Hide your head in the sand. Just another sad old man all alone and dying of cancer. And when you lose control, you'll reap and harvest what you've sown. And as the fear grows, the bad blood slows and turns to stone, and it's too late to lose the weight you used to need to throw around. So have a good drown as you go down, all alone, dragged down by the stone. The stone thing I find interesting because I believe The Wall was after this album. Or was it 2 albums later?
The Wall was after.
Well, I know it was after, but I don't know if it was right after.
Couple years.
Because the stone, it's interesting. That stone turns into a brick in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So I always liked how Roger Waters' writing, how he uses the same imagery and it all ties together. It's almost like it's all in the same universe, like when you're watching superhero movies and things connect because it's all in the same universe.
It's like Marvel.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the first Marvel.
Now, as I read through my my notes here, yeah, the dogs. It does. They as if you live that kind of life where it's a constant um battle and you're constantly looking over your shoulder, that's a life full of stress. And I'm not sure there's any amount of money to me that would make me want to live like that. Um and it is true, your decisions in life, you do reap what you sow. And whether you believe in karma or you believe in um, a higher power and the fact that your free will determine where your soul goes after you die, I don't know. You kind of don't want to be a dog. Um, it continues on. I gotta admit that I'm a little bit confused. Sometimes it seems to me as if I'm just being used. Gotta stay awake, gotta try and shake off this creeping malaise. If I don't stand my own ground, how can I find my way out of this maze? Deaf, dumb, and blind, you just keep on pretending that everyone's expendable and no one has a real friend. And it seems to you the thing to do would be to isolate the winner and everything's done under the sun, and you believe at heart everyone's a killer. Yeah, do you really have any real friends when you're a dog? Or is everything uh just a social ladder to climb?
Yeah.
So we go into pigs, 3 different ones. Now, the 3 different ones, from what I've read,
One had a house of straw. One had a house of brick. House of wood?
no, I think it was straw, stick, brick,
Wood.
something.
Same fucking thing.
Something like that. So the pigs song to me is it's my favorite out of all of them. And the what I really like about it is for each song they add the animal noises throughout it. So the dogs, you have the dogs barking, and the pigs, you have the pigs squealing, and the sheep are baaing, and I really like that too. Um so in Pigs, it starts off big man, pig man, ha ha, charade you are. That man is actually James Callaghan, who was a prime minister in England. Um, I think it was like 76 to 79, and he was part of the Labour Party. So that's like equivalent to our left wing. Um, the second pig, which is in the second verse, is Margaret Thatcher, who was prime minister from 79 to 90. Now, she was a conservative. So this is where I do appreciate that he sees that there's evil, there's pigs on both sides. Doesn't matter which side. The third verse for the third pig is Mary Whitehouse. Now, I used to think
She was a liberal.
no, she was conservative. But when
Oh yeah, she campaigned against
yes.
social liberal.
Yes, she was very conservative. When I, you know, growing up hearing this song, the verse that talks about her, it says, "Hey, you White House." Now, I always assumed it was the White House,
Right.
but it's not. It's actually Margaret Thatcher.
Mary Whitehouse.
Yeah, Mary White. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Mary Whitehouse. She was a conservative, more, I guess they called it a morality campaigner. She actually did not care for Pink Floyd and kind of felt like Pink Floyd was adding to the sexual and drug debauchery going on in the 70s. So the lyrics are just so great. So, big man, pig man, haha, charade you are. You well-heeled big wheel, haha, charade you are. And when your hand is on your heart, you're nearly a good laugh, almost a joker, with your head down in the pig bin, saying, keep on digging. Pig stain on your fat chin, what do you hope to find? When you're down in the pig mine, you're nearly a laugh, but you're really a cry. I don't know, the hand on your heart, I kind of view as like politicians, when they're getting sworn in, or like when we say the Pledge of Allegiance, or you put your hand on your heart and you say, I swear, I swear this, I swear that. And it's all a big fucking facade lie.
So, I'm going to take a little detour because, damn, the lyrics are so good, like you said. No matter which way you fall politically, it's so interesting how well written. I mean, Pink Floyd's great, but I'm going to take a detour because I have some lyrics that I want to read.
Oh, okay.
And I think you'll see some inspiration,
Mm-hmm.
maybe some, parallels.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got that yummy yum. That yummy yum. That yummy yummy. Yeah, you got that yummy yum. That yummy yum. That yummy yummy. Say the word, on my way. Now, I think it paints a picture just how yummy someone is.
For those who are over the age of 25, explain the lyrics you're reading.
Well, this is a classic. I mean, if Casey Kasem was alive 30 years from now, Casey Kasem. This is yummy. Who would have thought? uh,
Aptly named.
by the Beebs, man. And this won. Oh no, it was nominated for the Grammy Award for Best Pop Solo Performance.
I know. You know what? They don't make shit like Pink Floyd anymore. It's
What are you talking about? Yummy. It's great. Simple. Not everything has to be Shakespeare.
um I'm all about simplicity. Like I've said before, some of the best songs are the simplest. However, I got to draw the line at Yummy. And I want to say that song had like 7 writers or something. Insane.
They all do. I mean, I I have no idea. I mean, it would take 7 writers for this song. I think other than the word yummy, which I do love that word, there's 12 other words in this song, not including articles. So, yeah, do you see the parallels?
I see the parallel.
You've got animals
And they're yummy.
and yummy. Bieber would be a pig. And pigs
I don't think he'd be a pit.
are yummy.
I think he'd be a dog.
I don't know.
I don't think he's high enough on the list to be
I
a
think
pig.
he is. He's got like $700 million, and he's not even 30.
It has nothing to do with money though. It has to do with what you're told to do. He's told what to do.
Oh yeah, well of course. The record industry
Yeah,
rapes him in the mouth,
of
but
course.
I still think in the gradient scale, he's a pig compared to me.
I mean he's definitely a pig. I just don't know that he's a pig
Well,
in this sense.
hey, he's reformed. Anyway, I'm glad we got to take that detour.
Oh yeah.
You know.
It was that was
I'll pull up.
that was inspirational.
I will pull up more inspirational
Yeah.
lyrics
for sure.
from JB.
Now there's a part in Pigs that I really enjoy, which is that those talk boxes that
Peter Frampton.
like that yes.
Yeah.
Roger Waters uses it on this track, and it's so perfect because it mimics a pig squealing. Like if you really listen to it, it almost sounds like a pig singing or wailing or something. I don't know. I thought that was a nice little touch. Also, it's very heavy on the cowbell,
Mhm.
which another
necessary.
Yeah.
And it goes with the theme,
It
really.
goes with the theme. It goes with the animal theme. And what's the line? The Christopher Walken line?
Yeah, needs more cowbell.
Needs more cowbell. Could never have too much. Um. So the next verse, the other thing I want to add about this, it's about the structure of these songs. Most songs, they follow a pattern. For pop songs, it's verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, the end. None of these songs have a chorus. It's all verse. There are long in between verses, there are long instrumentals. With, like I said, the background noise of the animals, and really sets like the tone. But it just goes to show that good music does not have to follow some kind of cookie cutter, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, maybe another verse, chorus. this didn't follow any rules. And I like that. But I don't know that if today, like, even this is considered, I mean, to me, like, totally classic rock. But I don't know. Would something like this be successful today, do you think, if it came out? Or is it just too complicated for today's, the
Well,
ears of today?
are you talking structurally or lyrically?
Both.
Well, yeah, lyrically, it's tough because the 60s and the 70s, in my opinion, were probably the most poetic in terms of lyrics. You know, because before that, you had more jazzy,
Bluesy.
big bandy, bluesy. Well, blues can be pretty poetic, but simple. Blues is the simple to the point, make you feel shit. But the 60s and the 70s were very lyric heavy, you know, in my opinion.
I'm sure there's music that exists out there that's poetic and different.
Not mainstream.
But it's not mainstream.
Yeah, you're talking mainstream.
But as far as mainstream goes, I don't think this would ever fly today.
I don't think Dua Lipa is gonna come out with some
definitely
grand
not.
opera. But it doesn't sell. It's sold in the 60s and the 70s.
No, part of me thinks that's not true. Part of me thinks that people do want great music with a message that they could relate to if it was put out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, it's anyone that I ever talk to, aside from young kids, nobody likes the shit that's on the radio now.
No, but I mean, what it takes one mainstream artist to bring it back, so to speak. So, like, I don't know, if Lizzo came out tomorrow with, a whole operatic album themed, lyrically poetic, and it was successful, yeah, then your pigs go, well, and then everything's going to be that.
I think music nowadays is purposely not this good. Because stuff like this is more unifying because regular people can relate to it. That's what makes this such a good album, is it's timeless, because really good art is true. It has truth to it. Whether it's a comedian on stage doing a set, the best laughs are to the jokes that everyone can relate to because it's true. Good writing, if it's born in truth, it will be timeless. I just wish today we had more music like that, but something like that would never be mainstream because stuff like this makes you think too much. And it's, Pigs is like 12 minutes long, Dogs is like 17 minutes long.
Yeah,
you couldn't play that on the radio.
Well, people don't listen to the radio
Yeah, the attention
anymore.
span, you know what I mean? Whether it's satellite radio, whatever. You know what I'm saying.
I think that
it's like an attention span thing. People don't have the attention span for
3
it.
minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes max. And I need to hear Yummy 38 times.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant because I'm never going to forget that shitty song. It's only one word.
It's an earworm.
Correct.
I call it earworm.
That's what modern, I mean, if we're going to go off on music, That's what modern music is. It's a series of earworms with no substance, no message, no direction. It's just a hook. Every song needs a hook, and all of the hooks are the same. I don't blame the artists because they're doing what they need to do to sell tickets to shows and Apple Music and all that. But it does go towards the idea of people in general are getting more dumb. It would only make sense that the media that they consume keeps up with that decline.
Well, yeah, music, movies, it's all reflects the culture at the time. So everything is so dumbed down now that yeah, something like this, it would never fly. But I'm glad it exists
Right.
cuz it's
And this was, I mean, this was back again, the 60s and the 70s were a pretty crucial time for music. You know, you had the Beatles briefly, 9 years. You had Stones, which I'm not a fan of, but you know, you had people like Bowie and um, I'm struggling to think Zeppelin. You know, you had a lot of big bands come out, and that was kind of the theme was operatic music that, and it was all drug induced,
yeah.
of course. I mean, that's fine, but it was huge. And then the 80s came and ruined it for everybody. I hate 80s music, but
Well, there's some 80s that I like.
yeah, every one that you like was a one-hit wonder for a band that never did anything else.
Mm,
80s was that decade was the one-hit wonder decade. Everybody had
well, I
one
like
good hit.
Tears for Fears.
Tears for Fears was, but again, even Tears for Fears, 3 or 4 songs, like not a whole lot. Duran Duran, maybe a couple. Cheap Trick, I can listen to 2, maybe.
The Cure.
Well, now you're looking at more. Yeah, I don't like The Cure, but and then obviously that brought about grunge in the 90s,
Yeah, I think every decade has great music and shitty music.
except for this decade.
Well, the one we're in now is
Pretty bad.
it's pretty bad. Very bad.
Mm-hmm.
The second verse of Pigs it's so funny. It's kind of hilarious. Um Bus stop rat bag. Haha, charade you are. So once again, this is Margaret Thatcher in this one. You fucked up old hag. Haha, charade you are. You radiate cold shafts of broken glass. You're nearly a good laugh, almost worth a quick grin. You like the feel of steel. You're hot stuff with a hat pin. And good fun with a handgun. You're nearly a laugh. You're nearly a laugh, but you're really a cry. I mean,
Perfect.
awesome.
Yep.
Hey, you White House. Haha, charade you are. You house proud town mouse. Haha, charade you are. You're trying to keep our feelings off the street, which is exactly what these. It's. They don't. This harkens back to the people in charge don't want any kind of unity. They don't want people coming together in the streets because there's more of us than them. There's more sheep than there are pigs and dogs. There's more sheep.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
I just wanted to play it.
It's, I mean, the cowbell is great in the song. You're nearly a real treat, all tight lips and cold feet, And do you feel abused? You gotta stem the evil tide and keep it all on the inside. Mary, you're nearly a treat. Mary, you're nearly a treat, but you're really a cry. We go into sheep. Starts off with the sheep sounds. This one's also very cleverly written. So from what I've read, the sheep were inspired by the 1976 Notting Hill riots in London. Now, this one has a towards the end of the song has a kind of Roger Waters version of the 23rd Psalm. You know, the Lord is the shepherd, I shall not want.
I am the wrong person to ask.
Well, it's Roger Waters is an atheist. So he's kind of mocking religion here. But let me read that part. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me down to lie through pastures green. He leadeth me to silent waters by. With bright knives he releaseth my soul. He maketh me to hang on hooks in high places. He converteth me to lamb cutlets. For lo, he hath great power and great hunger. When cometh the day, we lowly ones, through quiet reflection and great dedication, master the art of karate. Lo, we shall rise up, and then we'll make the bugger's eyes water. The beginning of your dick. The beginning of Sheep describes exactly how the masses are. Very apathetic, turning a blind eye to things, living in their own little world. So it starts off with harmlessly passing your time in the grassland away, only dimly aware of a certain unease in the air. You better watch out, there may be dogs about. I've looked over Jordan and I seen things are not what they seem. What do you get for pretending the danger's not real? Meek and obedient, you follow the leader. Down well-trodden corridors into the valley of steel. What a surprise! A look of terminal shock in your eyes. Now things are really what they seem. No, this is no bad dream. It's perfect. Because that is what goes on. I'll talk to people and it's funny, my brother-in-law, Tony, another Tony, I remember he was over once and we were talking about that Epstein trial. He didn't even know who Epstein was. I'm like, how are you on this planet and you've never heard of Jeffrey Epstein? But there are a lot of people out there that just are misinformed, uninformed. They don't pay attention. They just, live their life oblivious to what's going on around them.
Sure.
But basically, what I gather from this album is it's a rigged system. Okay? No one really wins. If you're a pig, you're going to live a shitty life and you're going to die an asshole. Granted, rich, but in the end, what is money? To me, it's not that important. Dogs, they die alone. They have no friends, no real loyalty. And the sheep, they're there for the slaughter. Now, in my opinion, I think it is possible to be a sheep and be vigilant. That's what you have to do. You can't be a blind sheep. You have to be a vigilant sheep.
A black sheep.
Yes. You know that very well, don't you, Anthony? The other thing in sheep when he that the Lord is my shepherd part comes in, it's actually very hard to hear. It sounds like it's coming from a robot voice. And I was thinking I couldn't find any information about the reason why it was recorded like that, like the artistic vision. But then I was thinking about it, and Philip K. Dick, who very famous author, he wrote like Minority Report, you know, a lot of those dystopian type of stories he's actually written. Well, he has a book called "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep?" And that came out in the '60s. So part of me is like, I wonder if that's what he was going for. You know, the robotic electric sheep. Um, you know, because robots, they don't have any uh, sentience. They're being controlled. You know, the sheep are kind
For
of
now.
until Terminator
Yeah.
comes.
For now.
Um,
Amazon is Skynet.
hey, I've been saying for a while, it's going to get to a point where this AI shit, it's going to get kind of scary.
It's okay. I'm here for it. I want my packages dropped off by an unmanned
I want
drone.
it by drone.
Yeah. I don't want to ever leave my house.
I'm the opposite. Granted, I'm really not a fan of people or crowds, and every time I leave the house, I'm like, God, why did I do that? But at the same time, I don't like leaving it to an app or a delivery service. I don't know. I'd rather do it myself, even though I really dislike society. Now, the last song, which is the Pigs on the Wing Part 2, it ends very hopeful. And Roger Waters wrote Pigs on the Wing 1 and 2 as an homage to his wife. And it goes, "You know that I care what happens to you, and I know that you care for me too. So don't feel alone or the weight of the stone. Now that I've found somewhere safe to bury my bone, and any fool knows a dog needs a home, a shelter from pigs on the wing." So essentially, if you have family, if you have loved ones, they can keep you grounded. They can keep you safe, and they can make that burden, that stone, not feel as heavy. So I do like how it ends on a hopeful note. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think this album's awesome.
It is. I think more people should listen to it currently.
Currently, yeah. Because it really does.
I mean, it's almost 50 years old now.
Yeah.
And
But it's timeless.
well,
Because
sure.
it's true. Because it's true.
Yeah, classism will always
You'll
be a
always
thing.
have. Yep. And that's what I wish more people understood. You know, when people are fighting over race, or they're fighting over sexuality or immorality, a lot of that is just a distraction.
Manufactured.
It's all manufactured. Because what the pigs don't want you to know is that there's more sheep than pigs.
Mhm.
And if the sheep came together and didn't listen to a fucking word they say, they would have no power. You know, and I wish people understood that. The fighting, this nonsense, it's a lose-lose situation. You're never you're never going to walk away from that a winner. Everyone will lose.
Yeah, that's why you know, I put on you know, my news sources, so to speak. And we talked about it before. It's like, why do you think all people want to talk about is Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, or, you know, all of these things that don't matter?
Well, it's the modern day Inquirer, right? It's juicy gossip to keep you distracted. Now, yes, we talked about it. Um, but I felt like we were talking about it to bring awareness to the fact that, you know, believe all women.
Well, it
And
yeah,
you have your soundbite that you love.
I do.
Um,
It will live on forever.
yeah, fecal delivery.
Yep. I mean, that's not the only thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just, guys, don't get distracted with the bullshit that the black screen shows you. It means nothing. It's all manufactured, and you can't believe any of it. I don't believe a goddamn thing on the TV. I mean, I'm at the point where unless I see it in front of my face, I'm going to question it. You know? I don't care what soundbite or what clip they show on the news. You know, they doctor shit all the time. They use old footage to make it seem like it happened today, but it really happened like 15 years ago. It's all people have the memories of goldfish.
It's a common misconception. Goldfish actually have a pretty decent memory. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah. It they're it, it's so strange. And side note, do you feel like ever since 2020 time is really weird right now? Because I feel like those past 2 years, it's almost like they didn't happen.
Standstill.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like time is really accelerating crazy right now.
I think we're also getting older.
Well,
So
yeah.
time is relative. But yeah, if I woke up tomorrow and, like, you know, the newspaper said it was 2020, yeah, it does feel that way. It feels like, you know, I moved here 2 years ago. It feels like I just moved in. But I think, you know, Pandy Wandy kind of played a big part in that. I think for me, not going to an office every day and, like, waking up and going to my computer and working from home and having the ability to, like, run errands and do stuff has messed with my perception of time.
Yeah, time is it's so crazy right now. And I understand the whole reason why it feels like time accelerates because, when you're 7,
You have 67 years
well, when you're
ahead of you.
well, not only that, but when you're 7, a year passes, that's a seventh of your whole life.
Correct. Yes.
Whereas the older you get,
It's only
it's fractional. You know what I'm
10%
saying? Yeah.
of my remaining life. No.
And the busier you get and the more you have going on, fills all of that empty time that you didn't have as a kid. You wasted your way playing games, watching TV, playing outside. You didn't have any real responsibility or things to keep track of. So time felt like it was going slower. Time, another great Pink Floyd song.
Taking away the moments that make copy strike. Yeah, time, money,
Mm-hmm.
they're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Shine on you, crazy diamond.
It's because it's all in truth. If you make things with its core purpose being truth, it will always live on.
Who do you think, since we've got a couple minutes, who do you think was the last or current, if they're still around, like influential mainstream group or musician other than Justin Bieber?
And you're talking the last, what, 10 years?
Yeah, well, 20 years. Starting, I mean, they could be from the 80s, 90s, whatever. That's don't worry about that. Um, they could be current, they could be deceased, but last influential artist. Pink Floyd. No.
Well, Pink Floyd is my fave. But
He's
other
still
than
around.
them,
Roger Waters still around.
so is David Gilmour.
Yeah. But
I mean, Michael Jackson's up there, even though I can't stand him. Because I think he kind of reshaped pop music and dancing, and he kind of was a catalyst for a lot.
but knowing what you know, and I got a lot of feedback, people who listened who didn't think I was very funny. Folks, I don't condone molesting children. But knowing what you know, can you separate the art from the artist?
I can. Um, I don't like to though.
You'll
I
make the exception with Michael
um
because he was so.
I actually don't really listen to it. I'll turn it off if he comes on. Even though, you know, uh like Thriller is great and I still I feel funny inside listening to it.
Yeah.
Who
Like
do you,
you're contributing
like
to
I
the
like I'm contributing to it.
condoning.
Yeah.
I
Who-
listen to that shit.
Who do you think is the most current influential?
Yeah, see it's interesting because I, I don't think anybody within the last 10 years I'll still be listening to 10, 15 years from now. I'm a huge John Mayer fan. I, I'm not going to say that he's as deep and poetic as Pink Floyd.
He's
I
all
think
right.
musically, he's the best and most influential guitar player. Mainstream. There's plenty people that are better than John
yeah.
Mayer, but mainstream, he's one of the more influential guitarists. But yeah, Eminem maybe.
I don't find him to be.
Oh, he's a rap god.
Yeah, but I don't find him to be that in groundbreaking or influential.
I would say from a lyrical um rap music, which I'm no expert. I'm white, but and
So is he.
I don't exactly. I don't claim to be, but his rhythm and flow and lyrics and his process and the fact that he's been doing it for, at the highest level for 23 years now, actually probably closer to 25. I, I'll listen to his music well into the future because there was depth, there was story, there was substance behind his lyrics and his music.
You know what I want to make a comeback? These
Disco.
no, these concept albums.
Again,
I don't know that it'll
never
ever happen though.
Mm-mm.
But what was so great about them was it told a whole story,
Mhm.
and the music all kind of blended in with each other.
Well, a lot of Pink Floyd specifically, since that's what we're talking about, but, you know, Meatloaf, um, some Queen, yeah, they were operatic from start to finish, um, told a cohesive story. It was a story. It's storytelling
Uh-huh.
in music form.
Yep.
And I absolutely agree. I love that idea, but it'll never work today.
How do you make that mainstream though?
You can't. Well, you could, but
But you would lose some of the
I don't even think that. I
art.
think what it is everything is so piecemeal on demand. If you listen to, like, let's say you put on Apple Music or Spotify, if you hear song 5 on that album, it's not going to resonate because you have to listen to it from 1 to 10
Well,
or whatever.
Well, the Wall, I think has. I mean, the Wall, Dark Side of the Moon, Animals. I think the song Wall definitely has
Comfortably
songs
Numb,
that are great standalone.
Another Brick in the Wall, Mama,
Mother, yeah.
Mother, whatever. Um, there's a lot in that album that does stand alone as a jam, but it doesn't do the same thing if you don't know the entire context. Like, take Animals, for example. If you take something so deep and serious as that album and you put it out today and people only heard sheep,
Mm-hmm.
they don't get it. It's like, what the fuck is this album, this song?
Yeah.
It wouldn't work. So I love the idea, and I'm sure there are musical artists that are doing it. It's just not mainstream. You have to find that stuff. I find shit all the time, by chance, you know. So I'm sure that exists. I'm sure if I did a Google search of albums like that, I could find a bunch of artists. But we're talking mainstream. I don't see it. I think it's all 3-minute bite size hook, earworm,
Follow that verse, chorus,
Right.
Yeah.
and the true test is if you can listen to a song one time and you can sing along with the hook, they've got you. That's how they get you. You can't do that with Animals.
Well, yeah, there's no chorus. I mean,
Yeah,
there's no.
you can't
You
do
know, the
it
only
with that.
thing that even repeats is in Pigs when they say
Charade.
"Ha ha, charade, you
Charade.
are."
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing that
Hey,
repeats.
but that's the hook.
Yeah.
And that's your favorite part, but there's substance around it.
Yeah.
Same thing with a lot of musical artists. having a hook isn't a bad thing, but when the entire song is based around that one line, like,
So tiresome.
and then you hear it 17 times, but that's what they play, in the clubs. Bottle full of bud, my ma got what you need if you no. And that's what sells the Apple Music and Spotify and all that.
So, to answer the question, are you a pig, a dog, or a sheep?
Albatross. Well, that's been the end. We're
I'd like to be a vigilant sheep.
yeah, vigilant black sheep. That's it from us.
Mhm.
What's the next one?
That's for you to decide, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll play us out.
Mhm.
I'm Tony.
I'm Tina.
Okay, bye.
Peace out.